What's up, kiddos and squiddos? Today we're going to be talking about Pokemon. Hi, Hajad, how are you?
Not too bad, right? Not too bad. You know, just your standard summer's day over here.
Oh man, yeah, it's like that here too. Really fucking hot.
Pretty much.
I don't even. I said kiddos and squiddos because I'm still just all about that Smash Ultimate content. That's all.
Oh yeah.
That's all I'm checking out.
I forgot.
And
I forgot that was a thing.
they have some Pokemon in that, but it doesn't not really the kind that we'd like to talk about. Although if they do actually put, it's theorized that they'll put like a new Gen 8 Pokemon in the game in Smash Ultimate as a promo, kind of like how they did with Greninja. So that would be cool to talk. But anyway, Pokemon. Today we're just kind of in an anticipatory phase. PUPL. Next time we record, the draft will have happened. But for now, we're kind of just waiting on that. It's been extra long just because of scheduling conflicts and whatnot. So we're just going to, because there's been a lot of discussion about potential tier shifts, because that will happen in the middle of PUPL. And it could change a lot. So we have a list here. Quickly just recap the list. What people are talking about pretty seriously is the potential of getting Jellicent, Quillfish, Frostlass, Excelgor, and Clawitzer, and the near certainty of losing Stoutland, Sandslash, and Gastrodon. And then there's fringe chances, not super supported, but there's a chance that we could get Dodrio, Omastar, and regain Altaria, and we could lose Ferroseed. And then we're just going to go a little bit more in depth on those, and yeah, that's about it. Nothing much has happened. I guess this is the best of 3 tour. Getting to that finals, not grand finals. That's only for double elimination tournaments.
Yeah.
But that is not a ton to talk about. I think I even did want to record my semifinals game versus Teddy, which I think generally is probably more, people would consider it more of a highlight than the finals. But I don't know. It was such a game like in the team builder phase that the game itself I didn't really have enough to talk about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was a good series though.
I think it was good. I don't mind that it was very team builder focused, but it's hard to talk about plays then.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so Jellicent. I think that's received the most discussion and interest outside maybe Clawitzer because we thought that was coming for longer. But yeah, Jellicent I'm fascinated in because it's the one like Kingler fighting somewhat ice check in that it forces you to click freeze dry, which is not nearly as much of a spammable move. It's all that in one, which at face value is quite good because people have been saying this for a while. PU really needs more defensive mons. NU has just consistently taken like all our defensive mons. We've lost Altaria and Miltank and Cryogonal. We never got Cryogonal. Quillfish. Plus losing Gastrodon. You keep like cutting out and I think lagging your sentence into when I'm talking. What were you trying to say?
I was trying to say, we lost Guzzlord as well back in the day.
Oh yeah, Guzzlord. That was a while back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But like all of these things, I think it's like PU has done quite well to keep the meta, acceptable in that sense. Considering how many walls we've left, I think we've done a pretty good job of keeping the meta like fun and like, not trash.
For sure. It's just required banning more things. Like I think if we had more defensive options, we'd probably be able to keep Samurott, maybe Tauros, something like that. Jellicent though, I don't know. As a defensive option, I think that'd be great. But it also seems like it might just be straight up broken. Straight up.
Could be.
No holds barred. What really wants to switch into like the potential of Scald, Shadow Ball, Wisp, and Taunt?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, like, we don't have a Pokemon with incredible base power here. Like, Jellicent isn't going to be, like, carving your teams apart. I don't think with its its base power alone. Not like how you would with Auroras. So in that sense, I'd consider it like a really good Pokemon, given how much it was. Like, I think a lot of things that make really good metas good is that they have Pokemon that can play a variety of roles almost. Like, they have a good role compression. Like Jellicent provides like a spin block, water immunity, and loads of like
fighting check, water check, etc., etc.
Yeah, like loads of key resistances that you can just like, okay, I have a Jellicent. Now I don't need to worry about this Pokemon, this Pokemon, this Pokemon, kind of like Ferroseed-esque in that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Where you can just slap Ferroseed on, just ignore basically all the grass types, water types in the tier. And you get spikes. I feel like Jellicent will play similarly to that with a bit more offensive pressure, like a bit more offensive presence. Like, you'll have Taunt. I feel like that's a really good thing for it. So it can like dodge Toxics and stop people from like abusing it with spikes. But I feel like time will tell. It won't be. I don't think it'll be broken immediately, but it might do over the course of a few weeks.
Well, I'm not even talking about offensive sets, because it could totally run those. Those would be very hard to switch into. But look down the viability rankings, and here's a list of Pokemon that you could reasonably see switching into Jellicent. Lilligant and Alolan Eggy. Specs Lantern, because otherwise you don't have the power to break it. So that's like already some kind of niche Mons. Articuno, maybe. You'd have to be at least a little bit offensive or fast toxic or something. That's I'm already running out. Oh, Lurantis. Although you don't want to get burned if you're running Superpower, which is the best set currently. And then you're just getting more and more niche, like the really weird stuff, like Ludicolo and Bellossom. That's just not common. And that's really the scary thing. Like, your average team would have to change significantly in order to accommodate its offensive presence as just a defensive, uninvested Pokemon, not making any offensive concessions.
Yeah, I think also something to consider is that Jellicent, a Specs Jellicent set is actually pretty decent.
Absolutely.
A modest water spout set, like it's straight up to a Chaos Clefairy with Specs. Like,
I mean, the only switch into that would be like Jinx and Jellicent, things that get hit by Shadow Ball, because Gastrodon's going. Oh, there's a Ludicolo too.
AV Ludicolo for the win. Let's go.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, man.
That's Jellicent. Frostlass.
Frostlass is pretty cool.
I think Frostlass would be very cool.
A spike setter that spin blocks itself or for itself. Like, hell yeah, that sounds amazing.
I mean, yes, but I don't know how I don't know how big spin blocking for itself necessarily is. I don't think fitting a spin blocker has been that difficult. I think we've seen plenty of successful teams that run the Ferroseed, the Spiritomb. It's more like it opens you up to be able to run more offensive spikes teams, both by like fitting on offensive teams much better than Ferroseed or whatever does, and also by like you don't have to run a Ghost. Whereas in this meta, if you want to run spikes offense, I think you really just do need a Ghost to check Hitmonchan.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I'd say with Frostlass is that when you have on an offense team something that's fast, can possibly trade out its Destiny Bond, get up spikes and spin block all in one, I think you open up that can of worms that goes with offense. I think because then you can run more of an offensive presence. You could run more like niche CT type Pokemon. Rather than I have to try and make sure I have a mark switch in, or make sure I have a rain check here, and you know what I mean. Like Frostlass, I think will open up the offense meta. I think offense right now is kind of like struggling because it doesn't really have a good spike setter. Like if you're using an offense team right now, what are you using? Sasharos?
Mm-hmm. I guess, or Glalie is No, Crustle.
Yeah.
Sorry, Crustle is better than
Oh
Glare.
yeah, Crustle.
Yeah, and honestly, like 110 speed, highly legit in this meta. 110 speed is would just be really good, and that with the Destiny bond would just be incredibly difficult to know when to KO it. Incredibly difficult.
Yeah, no, it would be fantastic. I think. I also seen in NU people running Wisp Protect sets. That sounds pretty cool as well. Like having Wisp on your Ghost, and getting up spikes. It's just, I just think it'll fit really nicely in the meta. Really like open up offense as a playstyle as well.
Yeah, it's if we're gonna be losing a bunch of walls, then let's have like a really interesting offensive meta. And I think that's the key word with Frostlass, interesting. It's the kind of mon that maybe if otherwise we skewed more defensively, maybe it'd be like a problem. But in the event that PU just goes like full offense mode, I think it would just be really cool. Really cool. Good, great, cool. So, I think that's Frostlass pretty much. Frostlass is pretty fast, but I think we should go to the even more face-to-her boy, which is Excelgor. A Pokemon.
Let's go.
A Pokemon that even more than Jellicent would have no switch-ins. I think Specs Excelgor, if you predict right, which, yes, I think it would be more prediction reliant than a lot of mons, but if you predict right, its switch-ins are limited to AV Hitmonchan and Audino, maybe? Mischievous, sure.
Audino would get bought by Focus, so I don't think you'd go Audino on a
maybe you could pivot in and then like regen back as you switch, but even then, like, you're taking so much from that. Point is, Excelgor would be like the best Suicide Spikes lead, sure, whatever, but I think offensive sets would just be straight up ridiculous.
Dude, thing that I have with Excelgor is that its base HP isn't so bad. Like 80 base HP is really passable, and when you pair that with like Final Gambit, you just destroy everything that isn't a ghost type. And we understand like the pursuit metagame in PU is really strong. Like we have Skuntank, we have Spiritomb, we have all the rest of them. Like Excelgor is going to be a free kill every game with Final Gambit. Like it's going to be really hard to switch into, I think.
Yeah.
Like super hard.
I mean that would just accentuate how much ghosts need to be the check. But our best ghosts are the ones that are also dark types. And then after that, you have the maybe a little bit of pursuit fodder. Mischievous isn't super pursuit fodder because it got Wisp.
And it's fast as well.
But like, God, I think it'd be really annoying, and the opposite side of Frostlass, just too good, not fun. That's the way I would. I wouldn't really be enthused to have this, and I'd definitely be keeping a close eye on it for a suspect. It'd just look like, because really it's just a question of how do you plan to handle this? What kind of plan can you have for something that is faster than all of your non-scarfers, unless you're running a Ninja S team, has ridiculous support moves, and can 2-hit KO almost everything?
Yeah, dude, like it's so fast. Like 427, I'm pretty sure that's fast enough to outspeed Timid Scarf Mesprit, sorry.
If 427 is Timid Excelgor, which I don't know that you would have to run.
Yeah, but like if you wanted to like really troll a Scarf Mesprit, like that would be that would be speed.
Hang on, so let me check this out. So Modest, if you were to do that, hits 389, which is 1 point faster than Modest Scarf Mesprit. Damn.
Yeah.
So you would beat Modest Scarf Mesprit with just Modest Excelgor. That's painful. Oh my god.
Yeah, most Scarf Mesprit are Modest now.
Yeah, no, Modest is definitely the current best. If you were Timid, 427 wouldn't really do much other than Timid Scarf Mesprit. They'd be like +2 Torterra, +2 Gorobis,
Yeah,
whatever.
maybe
Not super relevant stuff, but like, yeah, I think Excelgor would be the best candidate for broken on this list, even more so than Clawitzer.
Clawitz is an interesting one, to be fair, because
Clawitzer's fascinating.
It's very it's really similar in a sense to Aurorus, where you have like very few limited switch-ins to the stab, and then on top of that, all the coverage moves necessary to like deal with the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a slow glass cannon that has similar wall breaking potential to Aurorus. I think it's going to be interesting to see how it integrates, but I can't see it not being broken. Like water we're losing basically all of our water immunities. All of our water resists aren't that great.
Plus, it's a much better defensive typing.
Yeah, I mean, like water is like on its own is like a really good typing. Like,
yeah, it's not weak to rocks, which is a big thing.
Yeah, that too. And I mean, like if you look at it just like very linearly, like what does well versus water, like grass types, electric types, those types of Pokemon. And then, but what grass types and electrics do we have in P? Like we have like grass types. You can't really switch any of them in.
They're not super common. It's not like how you have fighting types and steel types on every single team. Yeah. Also, Clawitzer's base 59 speed, not great, no, but faster than Aurorus. That's a big bench. Yeah. That's a big benchmark on its own. It's it's solid enough, and I think beating Aurorus really would kind of cement it as like, God damn it, why? Yeah, I think just the fact that it'd be harder to pressure would be what sets it apart from a mon that we've already like said. We considered Aurorus strongly first suspect. We looked at it, but overall easy enough to pressure. I still don't feel like it's been necessary at all. That Clawitzer would be Aurorus without that one thing that makes it not broken.
Basically, yeah. I mean, claws are just it's like the best version of a glass cannon, like we can possibly like hope for in this tier, like like
it's so weird to think of it as a glass cannon though.
Yeah,
it's a big slow, it's a big slow crab with a big claw, just like Kingler. I don't think he's a crab though. He's a lobster.
You reckon? Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from.
No, I mean he is a lobster. I just defaulted to crab.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we've talked at length about how losing defensive mons would affect the meta. And I don't think Stoutland would do very much to change. Like Stoutland is a notable Pokemon. It's a good Pokemon. I don't think losing it would change the meta that much at all. It'd just be like, we can work with Kangaskhan and things like that. It's not got the presence to be like, this would be a huge shift.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I feel like with Stoutland, it's like if Stoutland and Kangaskhan left the tier,
and Kangaskhan,
because then we would.
Yeah, that's huge.
Because then we would have no scrappy normal types, and ghost types would ghost types would be legitimate to switch into like any normal type in the tier, and that would be really big for team building.
Well, to be fair, to be fair, the next most relevant normal type after Stoutland Kangaskhan, well, you got type Null, okay, but then you have Drampa, which is more of a dragon type basically. Audino's not offensive, but then the next one is like Kecleon, which is hitting protein moves. So like after them, those are our only normal types. Like none of the normal types struggle with ghost types at all. You have to get all the way down to Komala, which can still run knockoff anyway, or Sucker Punch. It just like doesn't always. Oh yeah, okay. The Zangoose. Sorry, who runs the knockoff? I mean, okay, it's like one. It's like one offensive normal type that's annoyed by them. But just the point is, like, we don't really have any that are. Zangoose is the only relevant normal type that doesn't really like ghosts. So.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Quillfish being back, I just think would be unequivocally like cool. I think it'd be good. We can handle spikes. We've learned the senses. We've learned the hazard removal. Spikes would be very good, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It'd be more defensive choices. Quillfish. We've had it before, and it was cool.
For sure. I mean, Quillfish enabled offense really well in the earlier metagame. I feel like the best phase of PU that we had.
Quillfish meta, for sure.
Was Quillfish meta, yeah.
Absolutely,
so,
in my opinion.
It enabled Spike so much more as a playstyle, and it fit on so many different types of teams. So I'm looking forward to it being back personally.
Because really, that's been my take from the tier shifts. We're just losing so many defensive mons. Like, offense is just creeping in more and more, and you do still totally have defensive teams in this meta that can be very annoying, but especially if we lost Gastrodon, if we lost Ferroseed too, like if we lost Gastrodon and gained Spikers, I really do think those defensive teams would just struggle a whole lot more. Like your defensive teams are either like the Puku Muku stall or like the thing Teddy brought versus me in the best of three, which was like Munchlax, Tangela, Oricorio, Regirock, Skuntank, Filler, and it's like, yeah, you can make those teams work, but they're niche and difficult and have issues. So if we're gonna lean heavily into the offense, make Spikes good. Bring back Quillfish, bring in Frostlass, just like go full tilt into the offense. It'd at least be an interesting meta. I'm not saying we wouldn't have to change it, or I wouldn't regret saying this, but it's to me the bright side, interesting thing that we can maybe see happening for PU.
Yeah, for sure. And I think where do more certain is add a bit of flavor to the tier. People may say that PU's a bit stale, and that comes from like having the same meta for like a very long time. The Clef Pharaoh spin blocker type meta, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So having this change of pace would be really beneficial, just to like mess around with, have a bit of fun with.
Yeah. I mean, that's
see what it's like, really.
That's the point of lower tiers, I mean, most other low tiers have shifted much more than PU, in my opinion, as someone who's played a lot of them. Even like Little Cup, Ubers, and OU, their metas have all changed in noticeable ways that look different, but PU has not had done that much. So to have a big shakeup in the middle of PUPL, definitely from a cheerleader's perspective, it's scary. Like if PUPL doesn't go well, that's a big deal. If people can't really adapt and pick stuff up, or if something's too broken and people have a bad week. But I think if we keep a careful handle on this, yeah, I mean it's. We've been stuck in like almost at exciting times for a while now. We keep saying on this podcast, cool stuff next week. PUPL is maybe the payoff. PUPL plus tier shifts.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So thanks everyone for listening. Good luck getting drafted, and we'll talk to you in 7 days from now.